So today we're going to be taking a look at the 2023 Denver Broncos season. Give it a little bit of a review here. Well, I mean, personally, they did about what I expected. I thought maybe it'd be they'd go like 9-8 or like a 10-7 maybe. Just barely have a winning record and just barely miss on the playoffs, or maybe even at best a wild card team. Obviously that didn't happen. We finished 8-9, so another losing year in the books. But I do feel like we had a much better season than we normally do. I honestly felt like the offense was leaps and bounds better than the 2022 Denver Broncos. I feel like their team, other than the defense, felt like it was a bit more competitive and we're actually putting in a fight. And even this year, the defense, after getting absolutely annihilated by the Dolphins, they kind of woke up and then they started playing a little bit more passionately, a little bit more attacking a little bit more. But inconsistency is the word you would use for the Broncos this season. It's just been very, they haven't had a whole lot of solid games that are very streaky. They did go on that stretch for a while after beating, they would beat the Chiefs, they'd beat the Bills, all playoff caliber teams. They'd beat the Packers. And, they had their moments where they looked really good, and had other moments where they were losing to the ice-cold Patriots with Bailey Zappi. It's just inconsistent as all get out. And, I don't really think that was so much on Wilson as much as I just don't think Wilson fit that scheme that Sean Payton has going. It's just, it's two different play styles, and, unfortunately, Russell Wilson is just the odd man out in this one. You're not going to get rid of Peyton. So, you're going to get rid of Russell. I mean, it hasn't been official, but we all know it's going to happen. They're going to try and trade him out or cut him, whatever they can do, save some cap space. And then, whether they draft a quarterback or they sign a veteran, they're just going to sign or draft someone who fits Sean's scheme a little bit better. Another thing I'd like to also point out is injuries. Injuries were, our tight end, Greg Dulcich, I think he pronounced his name. Last season, he showed some flashes of being a great tight end. He could be a really fun, really explosive deep threat. This season, he was, if I remember correctly, he didn't play a single snap this season. He was out all season. And we were stuck with guys like Adam Troutman, who is not a bad tight end. He's just not much of a receiving tight end. He's more of a blocking tight end. You use him in those kind of sets. And so that hurt the offense. And then of course you had Tim Patrick, who unfortunately has missed his second season in a row due to a very unfortunate knee injury. Back-to-back seasons. That's rough. That's harsh on anybody. Things like that, they don't help your team. They really put a damper, especially when you have a team that's been struggling to find rhythm. You start losing key pieces. It makes it harder to get that rhythm established. And people like Greg Dulcich and Tim Patrick, their presence was missed badly at times. The running game, It felt mid. I felt like midway through the pack. It wasn't impressive. It wasn't terrible, but it was not impressive by any stretch of the imagination. Javonte Williams coming off of an injury. We were hoping he'd come back strong. He had a solid-ish season. Wasn't getting the numbers we had quite hoped for. Rookie running back Jaleel McLaughlin, he was fun to watch. I wish he got more touches, but he was fun to watch. He was very explosive and made the most of every opportunity he got, and that was fun to watch. And I look forward to hopefully seeing a little bit more action from him. Samjay Pirine, he played the purpose he was supposed to play, which is that third down back, and he played that well. He got those tough yards, he got those tough first downs. I remember watching him a couple times, and it was like 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 6, and they'd hand it off to him, and they're like, what the hell are they doing? And then he would just run right through the line and get that first down. It's a very tough runner, very hard to bring down. So many years at times, he was fun to watch, but overall, that running game just never really felt dominating like you were hoping it would be. It was the team really couldn't rely heavily on that run game because it was just, it wasn't enough to get them through. So which leads to, Russell Wilson having to throw the ball 20, 30 times a game, and I don't know. I felt like having him throw the ball that much and turning into that passing attack just made the offense very, very one-dimensional. And it made it easier for teams to, lock it down. That's what I felt like. It was just no matter what we did, it always ended up going to be a pass. It had to, because, the running game would stall out. You'd get, your first carry would be 2 yards, your second carry would be a yard or a loss, and then, you're, just stuck at these 3rd and longs, and then it's, Russell Wilson's got to throw that ball deep. And if you're always throwing the ball deep, then it's easier for defenses to figure out that coverage. And then, the only thing, some of the good things I can say about this season, though, there are some good highlights. One of them is Cortland Sutton in the red zone. He was fun. He pulled in a lot of touchdowns this season in the red zone. He was fun. It's proven to be a very effective red zone target. Unfortunately, he didn't gather a whole lot of yards, though. He was, I think, 970-something yards, maybe 980, I don't know. I think the biggest thing for him, though, is, he needs a quarterback that can really get it out there to him. And Russell Wilson, he's a good quarterback. I don't believe he's washed up yet. I still think he's got some good years in him, at least 1 or 2 more years. But he just wasn't that guy for the Broncos. He just couldn't get the ball to them that way. Another guy, he was a disappointment. He's been disappointing, honestly, since we've drafted him. That's Jerry Jeudy. I don't feel like we've ever been able to get what we thought we could get out of him. He always feels like he falls shy. We never get the full capability out of Jeudy. And at times it really hurts. You need that guy there in the second string, or someone opposite of your number 1, which has been Sutton. And it just didn't feel like we didn't have one. Jeudy, he would show up here, he'd show up there, and then I don't know. Just wasn't much action from Jeudy, and it was very disappointing at times. And then and you have people like Adam Troutman. He's not the quickest guy on the field, and usually pretty easy to cover due to the lack of speed. And so it's very easy to take away 2 targets, which is Troutman and Sutton. And so then you can shut down that passing attack, and then you can shut down the running game, and it's a recipe for disaster, honestly, if you're on the offense. They were better than the 2022 season, don't get me wrong. Russell Wilson had a much better year. Looked a little bit more like his old vintage self, but, he's getting older. He's getting up there in age, and I don't think we'll ever see that vintage side of him again. I think, unfortunately, that's what the Broncos were hoping to get out of him when they signed him back in 2022. They're hoping to get that vintage Russell, but I think that vintage Russell's gone. This is an inconsistent team. There's also a lot of, I don't know. We had Kareem Jackson. He no, he's a good safety. I think he's getting old, and I think it's time for him and the Broncos to part ways, especially after watching replacement PJ Locke come in. I mean, PJ made some great plays. I mean, he sealed that game against Green Bay with a game-ending interception, and that was fun. You know, I don't know. I feel like Kareem Jackson, he's just, yeah. So it's time for us and him to depart, I think, along with Judy. You know, I feel like maybe try and get rid of Judy, get some draft capital, or try and get some help on that offensive line. I know we brought Ben Powers and Mike McGlinchey in, but I still feel like the offensive line was just, you know, it's missing something. And, you know, they let up a lot of pressure, they let a lot of sacks, they let a lot of people get through there, and it's really rough at times. Like, it was hard to watch at times, watching how much, you know, you're forcing guys to have to scramble out of the pocket. You know, the run game is getting shut down. The offensive line feels like almost like one of those turnstiles, and just people are just flooding in. Another thing I'd like to see would be try and get some help in that secondary. Patrick Surtain, he played great. You know, lockdown corner, really strong. Justin Simmons, you know, a great safety, one of the best in the league. But outside of that, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of help on that secondary at times. I mean, we had some guys that played well. I can't think of the names right now, but they had some guys that played well, but just, you know, not enough to completely lock down. I think where we excelled, though, was just capitalizing on mistakes, honestly. I mean, that team, it felt like a scrappy team. I mean, and that defense, after the week 3 blowout, they felt really scrappy at times. Like, you would make a mistake and they would capitalize on that. And that was their entire thing. So, like, we know you're going to mess up, and we're going to be there and try and, recover that mess up. And unfortunately for the defense, though, is that offense would also, they make as many mistakes, but they just would sputter out and, have to punt the ball or be turned over on downs. And I don't know, you force a defense on that field for that long, and then, you give up, they get the turnover, or they give up a long touchdown. The offense gets on there, and then, they go 3 and out within just a minute or so, and that defense got to get right back on there. That's tiresome and weary on them. And inconsistent. That's I feel like the perfect explanation for this team was very, very inconsistent. But looking forward here to the 2024 season, I'm excited. Bringing in new coordinators. We're getting this team. We're going to get this team a little bit more dialed in, I'm hoping. Still feel like we need to tamper expectations. We, unlike the past 2 years now, I've seen a lot of it where we get real excited. We get hyped up, and then the inevitable happens, which is we get blown out. We kind of suck at times. I don't think we're going to be as bad in 2024. But got to tamper the expectations just a little bit. But I think the team will be good, or better. I expect him to get some either draft or free agency. I expect us to get some help on the offensive line, some help in that secondary. Also, the new quarterback, so that's going to be exciting to see who that is. I'm hoping. I'm hoping we draft one versus try and go grab another free agent. I mean, if you're a Denver fan, you know how that's gone. The free agent quarterbacks have been an abysmal experience. So we've had a lot of really, really bad quarterback play. I also expect to possibly get some help on the receiving core. I do expect us to move on from Judy this season. I don't feel that we will want to keep him. I feel like we will trade him off and hopefully get some help. Maybe incorporate Marvin Mims a little bit more too. That'd be nice. He's an explosive player. I mean, the times he got his touches or got the catches, now he's good. Another guy I was fun to watch was little Jordan Humphrey. He had some big plays and some big moments. But yeah, so I mean, the 2023 season, better, not bad, but not great or really all that good. A lot of problems I still think we need to fix. I don't think head coaching is a problem anymore, though. I think the head coaching situation, that's taken care of. And I'm hoping we take care of the quarterback situation in the draft, along with the offensive line. I'm not sold on Vance Joseph on the defensive coordinator spot still. I mean, he had some great games. I mean, that defense at times was a top unit, but there's other times where they're bad. So I'm not really sold on Vance Joseph as a coordinator. And you know, with those changes, I feel like this team could be a competitive team. And you know, I know it said tamper the expectations, but I feel like they could be a. I mean, with you know, if we get a young quarterback, you know, possibly one of the top guys in the draft, depending on how aggressive the Broncos plan to be. I think they could be a very aggressive and possibly dangerous team in the playoffs. I mean, you got Sean Payton, he's got experience in the playoffs. He's won Super Bowl, sorry. You know, so I mean, we have all the pieces outside of quarterback right now, and this team, I don't know, I don't know. It's been a roller coaster the past few years since the 2016 season with. Trevor Siemian and Gary Kubiak. After that, dude, it's been a roller coaster, and it's been rough at times, almost unbearable at times too. Like, I mean, the Chiefs. You know, we got our first victory against the Chiefs in like 10 years this season. No, it's been a rough ride. Let's put it that way. It's been a rough ride for Broncos country here. And I'm hoping that this will be the last rough patch for at least a couple more years, and we can start getting on some like a little bit smoother, a little bit more cleaned up, a little bit more efficient. And I feel like we can. I honestly do. I don't think all hope is lost. You know, inconsistent, but a lot of positive spots. You know, it's a young team too. So that helps. You know, got a lot of young talent. Yeah. So, yeah. Until next time, guys. Take care.
First of all, I'd like to say congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs on winning Super Bowl 58 over the San Francisco 49ers. And in honor of the Super Bowl and the end of the NFL season, we're going to be doing a giveaway for a Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl jersey. If you want a chance to win this Patrick Mahomes jersey, all you have to do is comment down below. This doesn't help out your chances at winning the jersey, but if you want to subscribe to us, you can as well. A winner will be announced on March 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, only thing you need to do is comment down below.